Hey everyone, it's me Gabriel, and I just got out of the shower, so don't mind me in this bathrobe right now, but I wanted to take a minute to talk to you guys about writing this week. So I'm also sorry about not uploading on Wednesday. I feel like I need to really get my shit together. So anyways, writing. For guys that may or may not know this, but I have a WordPress blog now, and I operate under the name Direwolf Gabe. And I use the word direwolf because I identify with wolves, but not so much the regular Canis lupus. Yes, guys, they don't exist only in Game of Thrones. They're an actual species. And I recently read that they were all the way from like United States to like Bolivia, which is my home country. So that's actually a really nice fact. Anyways, so I have a WordPress blog now. I've written 3 posts. And I'm getting a lot of traffic. I haven't even had this blog for even a month, and I'm already getting a lot of traffic. I'm almost like halfway towards 3K views as of this video. And it's interesting because I never thought writing could be like my medium, because if you know me like in college, like I know some of you did, in my intro to English class, it was expository writing, I think it was called, in Hunter College. I had a teacher who, he claims he was a Harvard graduate, and I didn't really know much about him, so it's like I just took him at his word. To me, he wasn't a really good teacher. He might have been to everyone else, but like to me, his teaching methods didn't really work on me very well. And plus, I was pre-T, so I was like a really big drifter. Now, had I transitioned in college, I'm pretty sure I would have been a much better student, but I just literally just drifted by with like B pluses and A's. If I really tried, I could have gotten A plus if I wanted to. So anyways, I was in his class. He made us write a lot, obviously. And for the final project, he had me put together everything I've written. I was forced to go to his office hours to discuss my drafts and what I'm writing, where am I up to in my work. Like, these office hours is for like voluntary if you want more extra help with the teacher, or you want to find out like how you're doing, or if you have a problem, you need an extension or something, whatever the case may be. But you generally don't force someone to like go to your office hours unless there's like a really serious problem. Anyways, he made me go for the first time to get to know me, and I'm just like, okay. It's a little weird when like teachers won't really want to get to know you, like they do icebreakers and stuff like that. That's very awkward for me as like an introverted person. But anyways, that's just beside the point. I had this like project. I had to put all my papers, even the ones that he was like criticizing. When he gave like criticism, it was like very cryptic. It was like asking me questions, like hoping that I'll get the answer on my own. Now that might work in mathematics, like, you know, calculus and that kind of stuff, egging the person on to find their own solutions. But like in writing, it's like when it comes in regards with sentence structure, paragraphs, that I don't think that would work. Like, at least for me, it did not work. So it's like, okay, yeah, I think I got it. When in my head, I was just like, once I turned that in, I got an email like saying what my overall grade was, and he's like, okay, so you're gonna get a C plus, which is like the bare minimum, which means you pass the class and you get to go to the next course in the English courses. Because there's on top of like my major requirements, which was psychology, I had like a list of general requirements where I had to take some random ass classes and stuff. So this was one of them, and he told me that like he recommends that I take a remedial English writing class. He's completely against me going to the next course in the sequential English credits, I guess. I don't know how else to describe that because it's not my major. I'm not sure what went down, but I know I recall being very angry. I wasn't a very pleasant person pre-T, so I sent him an email as soon as I got my grade so he doesn't change it. I sent an angry email, and I think I might have put a few choice swear words in there. But he didn't change my grade because he can't. Once it's put in the system, you can't change it anymore. That was not my finest moment. I went to the next course that he was completely against me going, and it was a lot more interesting class. Like, maybe it was just the teacher, or maybe it was just a much interesting subject matter. It could be both. If I don't have like an engaging teacher or someone that looks like they know what they're talking about, I can't concentrate. Even now, like, my concentration's to shit, but if you give me a really good teacher that knows what they're talking about, it's like, okay, we're good. And at the end of the semester, I got an A, so that made everything my previous professor have said about me invalid, and I was just like, I got the last laugh. But even though I got an A, my writing was still not very good as per my philosophy teacher. It's amazing that like how your writing gets better because of a philosophy teacher, not an English teacher. Because I took this class called Philosophical Ideas in Literature, and surprisingly that was a very interesting class. Very challenging, but very interesting. Finding philosophy in Don Quixote, Oedipus Rex, or maybe even Hamlet, you know, existentialism and agency, full agency, ipse, esse, all these really weird words, you know, Nietzsche, Sartre, Hegel. That's when I actually started getting better at writing, because this teacher gave me, in layman terms, a breakdown on each line. My first paper, like where I'm going wrong, like what's not making sense, and like how to fix it. And that's how I learned, like when somebody literally just straight up told me, okay, listen, like your sentence structure is wrong, your organization, you have to really like be more specific, who's they, and you know, those kind of things. As soon as that happened, my writing just got infinitely better, apparently, because not only my writing got better, but as a result of my writing getting better, you know, with all these papers that they assign you in these syllabuses, my grades as a result have gotten much better. I remember my last semester I started getting A's and A pluses, and that was it. And that was like my most challenging class yet. My lowest grade was surprisingly German fairy tales, which you think it was like the easiest class, but since I devoted less time to it because I thought it was just gonna be like, you know, easy, and devoted my time to the harder classes, I ended up getting my lowest grade in there, which was like A minus. It's amazing how like writing right now, like having not studied journalism or haven't written like, you know, like a really good English writer as of late. I haven't written anything since like college really, or that article I wrote for this UK magazine that was like several months, like a year ago. So it's amazing that like people find my writing relatable, and it's making me want to write more. But the little trick is that I can't write without bubble tea. Like I need to be drinking that stuff to get my brain going. And I read that like my bubble tea, that the way I have it is like black tea, which has caffeine in it, so that kind of might explain why I'm more focused on it. And it also has tapioca bubbles to give that little sweetness. And it just makes me think better. Like I need to have it. Like how everybody else in the world needs their Starbucks, I need my bubble tea. I'm gonna try and write more. I'm gonna see if I can maybe like improve as I go along. So far I've only written 3 posts, but like my circumstances are very encouraging like in terms of writing. I was recently contacted by my professor yesterday who wanted me to possibly speak at her class again. If you guys don't remember, I think I spoke to her class like November 2014. I was like almost 2 months on T, or like a month and a half, I believe. I was pretty early on. So I had a lot of fun. The students really appreciated it and everything, and I kind of want to keep doing it. It's really fun even though I'm not getting paid for it. She said she's going to assign one of my posts that I've written to her class so they can read it, and the plan is to have me come in and talk about it, have them ask questions, maybe a little more about like me being trans, you know, a little story and all that kind of stuff, you know, the works. So that's gonna be fun, and I'm going to see where writing's gonna take me. Speaking of like where life is gonna take me, I have a couple of things that I want to talk to you about. As you guys might know, I make t-shirts like for funsies, and sometimes if I really like it, I get it printed by Custom Ink or something like that. Or so I use those, and I'm wondering maybe I can like sell it because I do need a little cash, maybe for like top surgery even. So I'll let you guys see one of the t-shirts I made like in next week's video. And also I'm about to hit 1,000 members in my Facebook group. The link is in the description below if you want to join. I'm a pretty open guy, and everybody's there willing to help each other. I like to think that we're all brothers, really. Even you right there, or sister, depending who's watching, or anybody. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I think so. Oh, and I just want to let you guys know that you are loved, you are valid, and I love you as well as anybody else would. And also, if you need like have an emergency or in a crisis, I put some numbers down below if you want to call somebody or vent or whatever. So that's it. I will leave you with that. I will see you guys next week, alright? Peace.